Thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in, and we'll not waste a single second of your time. Bada bing, bada boom, we go. So Bitcoin, as it tries to reclaim this impulse to the upside 786 level, and let's go see what is up with the liquidity. We're going to do this update as quick as humanly possible. What is high block? Well, people lock their liquidity into the charts to get burnt to a crisp by the market maker for not using a stop loss, and we get to see where those crispy characters lie in wait. So let's go back into the liquidity here. Over the weekend, there was very little pinged in, and we got some shorts pinged in to the tune of $72 million here, as opposed to half that in longs here at the bottom. So it started to make its way back up. We talked about it coming to retrace into some of the pools here, 116 million at 26,397, and their partners in crime all the way up here in the 27K region. Most notably up here, if we zoom in here, you got $381 million at 27,101, and a 100x pool of 257 million at, come on, at 27,479. So that that $257 million pool could be something that they attack over the Monday, false move Monday, before retracing back down. Is this week going to be a retrace into the liquidity pools here? There's an awful lot to the tune of 17 billion here in short liquidity to go back to. The most recent pool that pinged in is over here to the tune of $53 million in longs as it broke out into this region. So are they going to come down into this $53 million pool before heading up in that zone? Let's go ahead and expand our vision to the higher time frame. Most previous we had was the 7-day and the monthly pools all cleared out completely. The imbalance to the upside here, there is some pools developing down below here at sub 24K. On the higher time frame, that is the point of interest that we must think about. If we look at the monthly time frame, all of the liquidity has been grabbed within this region. Double digits down below, so 24K still is possibility. This is hotter than any other region up above after the retrace. So the retrace doesn't mean it was a reversal. We could retrace back up into this liquidity zone up above and then continue to the downside, because on the 3 and 6 month time frame, there is this large pool of liquidity still resting below. So the imbalance that was previously to the downside is now being gobbled up. As you can see here, they previously grabbed this $142 billion at 24.6, and they could come down to the 24.3 region, finish off the job for $180 billion at 24.3. So that doesn't mean that we're done with the bottom here just yet. We could retrace up only to continue down as a big C wave continues to the downside on the 6 month time frame. If we start to look at the 2-year time frame, we start to see they gobbled up some of that $241 billion at 24.4, and there is still about $300 billion waiting down by 23.6. So it may not be over for the downside as we put in that lower low on the higher time frames. Technically, you're still making a higher low on higher time frames like this, and you could be continuing your way to the upside. So we could still make a little bit of a lower. We come all the way down to 24.9-ish, 24. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Binance chart and see what we were looking at yesterday and how that's coming to fruition, and how you check out for these bottom potential areas, how we kind of sussed this out back here, and if you were going to do the same, where that would occur. So as this bearish trend-based fib level insinuates that we came down to the 1382 level of that, nearly hitting the 1618 of this impulse retrace idea, and could be rounding our way out. Let's go ahead and throw on the momentum and see what's going on with that. Heads up display is on. Link is in the description for what this actually is. You could scroll down to features, toggle at your leisure to see all of the components, or read about each one as we bring it into prominence. So let's go into the daily time frame. Daily time frame and the weekly are about to close soon, so the daily and the weekly. Daily time frame oversold on multiple indicators, suggesting a bounce could be inbound at some point. We had the 3-day suppression that we mentioned to watch out for since basically July 24th, and we've been seeing this baseline suppression since then. The baselines are your first sign of reversal, something to watch out for on these higher time frames. That subtle suppression, same thing occurred April 16th. So this 60 days of downside was pointed out since April 16th, and then it continued from that point. So the same thing occurring here. These baselines have no sign of abating just yet on the 3-day time frame. So we could be continuing this journey to the downside despite stochastic RSI being oversold. The Williams still has pressure coming to the downside as it looks right now. If we go to the weekly time frame, the weekly just starting to turn to the downside here at a value of 33. When the weekly candle closes, it'll likely reset down into the 12, so that low teens region. And this will also come down as well, this momentum to the downside of the weekly Williams reset. We previously had a rejection on the weekly time frame at the adaptive moving average. We were talking about when we were up here getting rejected off of the weighted moving average, that we were talking about the next thing to see hold was the adaptive, and for 2 weeks we closed beneath the adaptive moving average. That was a sign of weakness, and sure enough, this last week was a big sell-off into that adaptive rejection on the weekly time frame. So if we go to 22-hour and below, we can see that this what you would like to see on the daily time frame and below is this scooping up of the price action here. So the scooping up and the price action being above the baselines is your sign of something potentially coming inbound on that, and that is your trend baselines. And so the 22-hour time frame, looking the Williams in a good position, the money flow coming up with the RSI here, and the stochastic starting to make somewhat of a rise. So far so good on the 22-hour time frame, suggesting that there could be some sort of bounce coming at least up into this zone of liquidity at 27,104, which we marked off, or 27,476. All right, so if we start to descend into the 12-hour time frame, we're also getting that scooping up of the price action with the oversold status on multiple indicators. Same thing for the 6-hour, if I'm not mistaken. 6-hour is starting to get overbought without really going anywhere just yet. So you'd need to be seeing some sort of expression of momentum here. You do have the rising sun, but this rising sun event on the Williams still has yet to produce a peak of a mountain of momentum here. It's very lackluster at best thus far, and not really seeing a sign of weakness here. This also occurred on the 4-hour, where the 4-hour is getting overbought but not really going anywhere, just going sideways. So this getting overbought while going sideways is an expression of potential weakness. Money flow also coming above the RSI here, also suggesting it might come back to the RSI at some point. If we go to we did have a reaction off of the golden pocket, and if you had taken that idea from yesterday, you'd be up about a percent and a quarter. And yeah, this is, what did we see that on? Well, we saw this cross up event on the 4-hour time frame, also holding the baselines, and the hourly time frame was the clue, potentially speaking, and having this shift of the cloud and the kiss of the cloud is what we look for, and then also seeing that cloud hold and maintain as it starts to head up. So this was the same idea put out yesterday, and it looks like it is starting to fill out exactly what we were saying. Does it maintain this, or will it meander around and the cloud become a hot mess on the hourly? I don't know, but you would need to see an expression of this play out for Monday. It does seem like it could occur. Hourly time frame is pretty ugly and ambiguous and not really showing much to glean. The bleeding MACD is starting to make its way up into the stochastic region. If it gets up to here, most likely going to get overbought and then do the opposite, and from that point. We talked about the other day how this is very similar to how you would suss out the bottom of something here, where this kind of breaks through the cloud, kisses the cloud, and continues, and then you watch for that repricing to a different region. Here, this aggressively moved up to a new zone, so you would be able to move your stops to the super trend and then just test it out from that level. So one thing I haven't used a lot of recently, but I'm going to start using more of, is the trailing stop loss formula within A. We do have a trailing stop loss formula inside of Momentum Master A that you could turn on for the time frame you're trying to trade, and it will tell you where a safe stop loss, if it was going to be a true trade in your direction, where you would put that. So 25,822 would be where you put that stop loss to avoid getting hit. So it's kind of an interesting point where it would tell you to put the stop loss. So it depends on the time frame you're in, of course. But you could also trail this super trend between that and the super trend, if the super trend is real, because if you look at this, it came down exactly to that super trend in the golden pocket and then bounced off it. So if you had your stop loss into profit beneath that, you'd be safe to go throughout this journey. So as it shows this cloud shift here, we could be getting more room to the upside. The cross down event on the baselines here, and the potential suppression is showing that sign of weakness that is expressing on the 4 and the 6 hours. So we could be seeing this come down some more at some point if we do not make that repricing stab that you would see towards the end of the week. No significant volume stepping in just yet. That green candle was about it, and the blue signifies a stop loss hunt, but we're not really seeing anything being hit on the liquidity side of things, just some small 30 million and $28 million pools up here. So most likely stalling out as of this moment to get that $53 million 100x pool off the table. When they get that guy off the table, maybe they make that stab up to the 26K, 26.6, 26.3, and these little bits of happiness up here. After that, the guess is as good as mine, but it seems that there is those pools gravitating to the vectors up here. So we will have this for you as a projection zone. Also keeping in mind that there is that zone down below, lest we forget the imbalance below on the 6-month time frame down here. But they left them on the table thus far, so they can retrace up a little bit for a B, to continuation idea. Just because they go up to here doesn't mean it's a reversal. So you could be seeing this, oops, in a similar fashion like this, where this is just if you come up to here, B, and then you still come down to here like C. So just because you come up to this region does not mean it's a reversal just yet. So if that could just be a retrace into the liquidity to avoid having to pay the shorts as they continue into those pools they're possibly targeting below. But as of this moment, I expect a retrace into this candle, to say the least. And yeah, unchanged from yesterday, basically. We'll see how it goes. The just updating is kind of interesting to see that it did fill out that cloud as we saw, and the cloud is still healthily thick as of this moment on the hourly. Gotta break these baselines and the downward pressure of the 4 and the 6 hour that is now getting overbought. If we look at total doing the same thing, trying to drudge its way out of that 2 level of the bearish trend-based fib, filled out perfectly. This is why trend-based fibs are pretty boss. If we look at the Bitcoin dominance starting to attempt to get some push up, but with the USDT dominance also insinuating it wanted to reset here, but it reset at a level. So this could be something that continues higher at that point if it reset without going lower just yet. Let's go ahead and take a look at the higher time frame of this. So the 4 hour reset completely. Interesting. 6 hour coming down. So this is the similar thing where Bitcoin's getting overbought and the USDT dominance is getting oversold now. So this could get more people kicked out into USDT if they're looking to continue out of here. Ideally, you would see this come back into the Keltner channel, even if for a slight touch to the top and then go higher if that was the case. So that would insinuate the same idea of the retrace into the candle in terms of coming back into this Keltner channel. Money flow is beneath the RSI here, so you could get a push up on the 12-hour time frame. Wait, what? If we go to the 6-hour time frame, this is getting that cross down event on the USDT dominance and the opposite is occurring for the Bitcoin dominance. So this is what we were seeing yesterday as well in terms of this cross down, people wanting to put their USDT into trades with Bitcoin dominance wanting to go up, suggesting people want so Bitcoin dominance goes up as USDT dominance goes down, suggesting that people are wanting to buy Bitcoin. So that is what insinuates that it wants to go up to this region and then react. So we'll see how it goes. That's what we're looking for today. Going into New York, we'll see what's up. We got the rising sun on the 6 hour, the MACD down in the domain of the Williams saying wake up. And while you are getting overbought on the stochastic RSI in the 6 hour, this could last little bit of happiness before getting truly overbought, could surge you up because the money flow and the RSI are at a low value. So we'll see, does the volume step in during Asia? Asia was previously on, Japan was previously on a vacation called Obon, which is now over, so the Japanese banks are now open as tensions rise and between the Asia Pacific regions. What is Asia going to do this morning? We'll find out and we'll keep you posted. I got to get ready to go out to some water play event in the mountains with my daughter and some of her friends, so I will catch you guys later. Let's see if we got anything else to to be doing double music. Oh shoot, double music, no! Then I'll turn it off. Sorry. I have to reset my computer every time then. I didn't do, what's it called? I didn't do Windows. So I thought it was the Windows that does that, but I guess not. So I have to reset my computer every time regardless. That's really annoying. Sorry about that. Well, on that note, ladies and gents, I will bid you adieu. Thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part and bearing with that double music. I will remember to reset regardless of whether I opened up parallels of Windows. I wonder what causes that doubling up. And I will catch you on the flip side. Peace.